जवानी लुटा दी, वतन के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दी, वतन के लिए जान की बाजी लगा दी। हमारे थे अब देश के हो गए हैं, हमारे थे अब देश के हो गए हैं। उन भारत माता के वीर सपूतों को वंदे मातरम। भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि, भारत माता की जय। इस तरह उनकी विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि देते हुए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, दोनों हमारे कीनोट स्पीकर और दोनों सब्जेक्ट हमारे साथ मौजूद है। एडवोकेट धर्मिन जो कार पार्किंग पर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी में क्या होता है, किस तरह से होगा, पूरी डिटेल, पूरी प्रामाणिक जानकारी आपको देंगे। पूरा पीपीटी उनका तैयार है। और दूसरा जो सब्जेक्ट है मानसून रेडीनेस, जिस पर डॉक्टर फिक्सिट की मृदुल गुप्ता मौजूद है हमारे साथ। मृदुल गुप्ता, आपका स्वागत है। मैं अभी इनवाइट करूंगा हमारे जो एडवोकेट नरेश भाई आज के मॉडरेटर हैं, उनको वो बताएं आज की जो हमारी सब्जेक्ट है कार पार्किंग को लेकर, और हमारे जो कीनोट स्पीकर है उनके बारे में बताएं, और आगे इस वेबिनार को, इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को, लेक्चर को आगे लेके जाएं। मिस्टर एडवोकेट नरेश भाई।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सुनील शर्मा जी। सो आज आप हमारा विषय है इट इज ऑन पार्किंग रिलेटेड इन पार्किंग इन अ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी। एंड आज इसका कीनोट स्पीकर है एडवोकेट धर्मिन संपत। उनका परिचय देता हूँ। He has a rich background in the matters related to property information technology, divorce and cruelty against animals. He completed his education in law, his graduation in law, and has an experience of over 10 years in this field. So Dharmin holds a bachelor's degree from Law University of Mumbai. So I welcome Dharmin ji. Now the floor is yours. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Naresh ji, for the kind words.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Ramesh Prabhu ji, MSWA, Sunil Sharma ji, MNS Media, and the team for giving me the opportunity to deliver my takes on the problems related to car parking. Problems faced by members, problems faced by cooperative society, and problems faced by managing company. I would like to thank Ramesh Prabhu sir for giving me this opportunity today. As we all know that the construction activities began a long time ago, and there were hardly any vehicles. Hence, the issue related to car parking were not many. But in today's scenario, the consumer spending power has increased, and so has the number of cars increased. A car is no longer a luxury, but practically has become a valuable necessity in large metros. Nowadays, places like South Bombay, the car parking is sold at exorbitant rates. Most of the families in today's scenario have at least one car or more, and that is why the topic of car parking is a burning issue, which results in a lot of physical fights as well as litigations in court. In posh areas, vehicles are parked on the footpath. This is only because there is a shortage of parking space, and you may have seen cars parked on the roads as well. Now let me get you scenarios. Allow me to throw a brain teaser. I request all the participants to kindly give me the answer in the chat box as to which scenario is valid and binding accordingly. Presenting the first scenario, I have purchased a flat from the builder, and to be extra cautious, I have registered my car parking agreement as well. Scenario number 2, I have purchased a flat and I have got a letter of allotment for the parking of my choice by paying X amount to the builder. Scenario number 3, I have sold or rented out my flat to the incoming member or a licensee along with my car parking without the consent of the society. And finally, the scenario number 4, the society has allotted car parking space to its members. Friends, which scenario according to you is legal and valid? You can type your answers in the chat box. You will be surprised to know that only scenario number 4 is valid and binding, because society, in my view, is the owner of the commons. Builder generally gives a letter of allotment and asks the flat purchasers to park their vehicles. However, a letter of allotment is temporary and it does not create any car parking rights. When a builder constructs a building, he has to hand over the building in favor of a legal entity, that is a cooperative society. Every member has equal rights in the open space of the society. A society is duty bound under bylaw number 78 to frame policies of car parking. Now, let me clear out certain misconceptions. Misconceptions of a builder. I can sell open car parking spaces. I'm sure most of you must have heard that builders used to sell open car parking spaces. But the Supreme Court, in the judgment of Nalchand Laluchand Private Limited versus Panchali Cooperative Housing Society stated that a builder cannot sell car parking space since it is a part of common areas and the common areas belongs to the society. Now, some of you may wonder, what about stilt parking? Stilt also cannot be sold independently as builder is not making any payment for property tax. The areas within the stilt, even if enclosed, will be considered as common space of the society. I can allot any car parking of my choice. A builder and his team earlier used to say and lure the customers by saying, I will give you the car parking right next to the lobby so that you don't have to walk, etc., etc. In my view, a purchaser should first satisfy himself by obtaining a car parking plan. He has to ensure that there are no reservations on the plot. Reservations in the name of water tank, gardens, or recreational ground. Please note, car parking cannot be allotted on reservations. Hence, one has to view and satisfy himself. Coming to the next misconceptions. Misconception of a flat purchaser. I have become the owner if I paid stamp duty on the agreement. No, just because you paid stamp duty on the agreement does not give you the ownership rights. The matter can be taken against the builder separately. In principle, the open space and the stilt parking belongs to the society. Remember one thing, friends, a flat purchaser, when he becomes a member, he has no transferable interest but only a restrictive interest in the parking space allotted to him. The second scenario, I can sell or rent my car parking to anyone. The same can be done after the permission and approval of the society. My nominee is entitled to my parking. No, a nominee is a trustee to the property and the rights of the nominee are not equal to the rights of a member. Hence, the parking space is the property of the society and society alone can allot the same. Let me give you an example for the same. Say there are 200 members and there are only 125 car parkings. This is excluding of visitors car parking. If a member A has, by area of operation of law, transferred his right, title and interest in a flat along with the car parking, and if there is a general body resolution passed that parking will be allotted as per the waiting list, in my view, the incoming member might not be able to enjoy the rights of car parking and will not be entitled to a car parking. He will have to wait for his turn and only then he will be allotted car parking by the society. I don't have to pay parking charges for the months I have not parked. Let's take an example. I have gone on a road trip for 2 months. I tell the society, just because I have not parked my vehicle, I will not make the payment. That is wrong. Bylaw number 83 clearly stipulates that a member, irrespective of the fact whether he has parked his vehicle or not, has to make payment for car park. I don't have a vehicle, yet I am eligible for car parking. Now, say I have purchased a flat and a letter of allotment has been issued to me, but I don't have a vehicle. The bylaw clearly stipulates a member having a vehicle is eligible for parking. However, if a member has not purchased a car, the builder, if issued letter of allotment, the society has every right to allot a vehicle to a person who requires second car parking. I can park my two-wheeler in my car parking. Usually, the space for two-wheelers as prescribed in DC rules is 3 square meters. And the space for motor vehicle is 2.5 meters into 5.5 meters. This is stipulated in the DC rules 1991 and DC PR 2034. Most of the societies don't object to the same if a member is parking his two-wheeler in space of his motor vehicle. Though the same can be permitted only after permission of society. I can park my other vehicle wherever I find space in society. Now say if I am an owner of a vehicle as well as I have a motorcycle and I intend to park my motorcycle. Under bylaw number 78C, no member will be entitled to utilize more than one parking space, which is allotted to him by the committee. And no member will be eligible for more than one parking without a decision of the general body. You please refer bylaw number 84, it will throw light on the same. Now coming to my favorite one, misconceptions of a managing committee. Just because the managing committee is governing the society, they think they can dictate over other members of the society and behave like landlords. It is commonly noticed that managing committee members keep the best parkings to themselves. They are not allowed to do so. They cannot keep multiple parking. The law has to be uniform for all and every member has equal rights over car parking. We need not change builder's letter of allotment of parking. When a builder is handing over the project to the society under bylaw number 78 is duty bound to form and adopt policy for car parking. There was a judgment of Jyoti Agarwal versus Silver Riddhi City Cooperative Society Limited, wherein compensation was granted by the court for to the complainant for not providing car parking. Licensees cannot park their vehicle. A licensee is not a member of the society, so he cannot park his vehicle. However, if there is surplus parking, then the society can allow the licensee to park his vehicle. The member has to make payment, and the payment has to be made as per bylaw number 83. It has been observed that some societies are charging amount and allowing the licensees to park their vehicle. We can charge exorbitant amounts for car parking. No. But just to favor a few members, sometimes the committee thinks they can charge such high amounts that most of the members or some of the members cannot afford. Please note, if a member A is making rupees 50 as payment for car parking, member B is not liable to make a payment of 500. This will be wrong. The law has to be just and fair. We have the right to raise funds by taking hefty deposits for car parking. Under MCS rule number 39, you are not allowed to collect deposits for car parking. Raising of funds is restricted. Now, friends, you will be surprised to note, I am sure most of you all have come across and seen a board which says visitors are not allowed to park your vehicles inside the premises. Now, do you know one thing, that the BMC has, even before the construction of your building or even before a flat purchaser wants to book a flat, has ensured the rights of a visitor when it comes to parking. DC Rules 1991, Table 36, Regulation 36, Table 15, and DCPR 2034, Regulation 44, Table 21, talks about the car parking space for visitors. In my view, if a visitor is visiting the building, he is only parking the vehicle for a number of hours. He is a guest and he should be allowed parking. But at the behest of managing committee, sometimes it is noticed that the security do not allow such people to park their vehicles inside. Now, as a flat purchaser, I have certain rights and I can ensure the parking space is properly utilized. So even my guest can come inside and park his vehicle. A society, in my view, should take an approach wherein at least one car parking space should be provided for visitors. Since we spoke about DC rules, let me take you, my next slide is regarding DC regulations, the old and the new. Firstly, open car parking space is not covered under FSI. Like I told you earlier, this is for visitors. The important provisions under DC Rules 1991 is Regulation 36 and Table 15. The Regulation 44 and Table 21 is under the DCPR 2034. Since we spoke about the right of visitors to park, here is a list of size of car parking for different vehicles. Four-wheelers is 2.5 meters into 5.5 meters. A scooter and a motorcycle is 3 square meters. A bicycle is 1.4 square meters, and a transport vehicle is 3.75 into 7.5 meters. Society should keep in mind the different size of parking at the time of allotting car parking space. One should say the eligibility of car parking is as per the size and is linked with DC rules. In 1991 DCR, different provisions were given for some posh areas like Malabar Hill, Kambola Hill, Fort, Colaba, Bandra, Pali Hill, Juhu, etc. And the rest of the suburbs and the extended suburbs were given another slot. However, the civic body, in framing the new DC Rules 2034, has ensured that the entire island city, suburbs, and the extended suburbs have got the same slot. So, a flat, depending on the size of the flat, it is determined whether you will be eligible for parking or not. Next, please. Now, different types of parking. In the olden days, the builders used to provide open car parking, still car parking, garage, or sometimes podium. But with technological advancements, we have seen that the new offerings are coming by the promoters. New parking like automated parking, podium parking, stack parking, etc. Let me tell you one thing. Because the builders cannot increase the length and the breadth of the plot, they are forced to make such parkings. Reason being, depending on the size of the flat, mandatory parking are to be provided. Now let me take you to the MahaRera provisions. MahaRera deals with open parking, covered parking space and garage. After RERA has come into existence, the rules and regulations framed by the RERA authorities prevent most of the promoters from playing mischief. There is transparency like never before. Today, a allottee or a flat purchaser need not run behind a developer he simply can log into the website of MahaRera and obtain all the necessary information related to the project, information related to the promoter, if he got any past liabilities or not, etc. Now let me take you through the definitions of car parking as provided under RERA. Section 2N3 talks about open parking spaces. Open parking are covered under the definition of parking of common areas. And in my view, every member has equal rights in the open space of the society, like the lift, lobby, staircase, etc. Covered parking, I quote, covered parking space means an enclosed or a covered area as approved by the competent authority as per applicable DCR for parking of vehicles of lottery, which may be in basement, still, podium, or space provided by mechanized parking arrangements, but it shall not include a garage or open parking. Now, what does RERA have to say about a garage? Section 2Y deals with garage. A garage means a place within the project having roof and walls on three sides for parking of vehicles, but does not include an unenclosed or an uncovered parking space, such as open parking. While registering the project, the promoter has to furnish information related to the parking. This is just to bring transparency so that the allottee knows what the builder is selling. The builder has to, in my view, has to specify the number of parkings, the area of those parkings, and the types of those parkings, whether it is closed, mechanized, or still. Under the model agreement, the price of the flat is supposed to include proportionate share toward common spaces, including parking. The judgment of Panchali Cooperative Housing Society specifically states that if a builder fails to claim money in the agreement for common areas, it is at his own peril. Para number 8 of the model agreement states that the allottee should use the garage or parking space only for the purpose of parking his vehicle. Next, please. Now, when a builder hands over the project to the society, that is the legal entity, and after the OC has been obtained by the society, it is the duty of the society to ensure they frame car parking policies. Let us go through the bylaws. Bylaw number 78 to 84 talk about parking. Under bylaw number 78, a general body has to adopt and frame rules related to parking. The parking has to be done on first come, first serve basis, and the available parking slots will be given to the member. No member shall have right to sell or transfer the parking slots allotted by the society. And no member, without the permission of the society, is entitled to utilize more than one car parking space. Now, what does bylaw number 79 have to say? If you have been allotted a car parking, obviously you need to know it has to be demarcated. How will you know where you're supposed to park your vehicle? A member, in order to know that this particular parking belongs to him, the society should demarcate such parking so no harm or inconvenience is caused to any person who is a member of the society. Coming to bylaw number 80. This deals with who is eligible for car parking. Only a member having a vehicle is eligible for car parking slot. Please note, if a member who does not have a vehicle will not be eligible. His car parking space can be allotted to another member who is in need of a second car parking. What if there is a case where there are more car parkings, more number of cars, but less car parkings? Bylaw number 81 states that when there is a lack of parking, the eligible member can put his request, and the society can take his request into consideration and allot a rotation wherein each and every member has equal rights to parking and get a fair chance of parking. Bylaw number 82. Now, when will a society allot you a parking? Is only when you make an application. A member has to make an application, and after making the payment for the necessary parking slot, he is eligible for car parking. Bylaw number 83 and 84. The payment for car parking charges have been prescribed under bylaw number 83. Whether you park your, irrespective of the fact whether you park your vehicle or not, you are duty bound to make payment for car parking. 84 deals with parking of other vehicles. Any other vehicle excluding a four-wheeler have to make an application to the society to park their other vehicles, which are scooter, motorcycle, or auto rickshaw. They have to obtain the permission from the society, and only then they can park their vehicle inside the society's premises. Now let us come to some landmark judgments. Nahalchand Laluchand Private Limited versus Panchali Cooperative Housing Society. It is categorically mentioned in this judgment, and it is a landmark judgment for a reason, because it stipulates A builder cannot sell open car parking space. It is a common space of the society, and society alone has the right to allot the car parking to its members. Court has observed that a builder, if he is allowed to sell the car parking, which is open or still, then the mischief would continue, and the mischief would remain unabated. The flat purchasers will continue to be exploited. These were the last words of the judgment. Surendra Kumar Shetty versus the state of Maharashtra, popularly known as the Godrej in the boys case. Even though if it has a stay in the Bombay High Court, the arguments in the session court were worth noting. It stated that civil as well as criminal proceedings can go on simultaneously. A developer does not have any rights to sell the open car parking space. Third-party rights cannot be created by the developer. A developer, while conveying the property, has to ensure he conveys and hands over the entire legal space to the legal entity, which is the society. Friends, as you are aware, this was a criminal matter, and even the director had to appear in person before the court. Imagine the mental torture and trauma caused to the builders. The next one is Jyoti Ramesh Agarwal versus Silver Riddhi Siddhi Cooperative Housing Society. Just because a builder has sold the car parking space to sub-flat purchasers, that does not mean the society should continue with the same policy. The society, in my view, has to frame policy as per bylaws and ensure that they give an allotment letter to the person who is eligible for car parking in a just and a fair manner. In case if there are less parking, it should be on rotational basis. In this particular judgment, friends, I need to inform you all that summons was also issued to late Mr. Gurudas Kamath, who was the member of parliament. If you concentrate on the para number 11, it clearly states that at the time of allotment of car parking space by the builder, there were two different flat purchasers. Even the committee had approved the same. However, I believe and I'm of the opinion that the decision will not disentitle the complainants from getting parking. And the parking should be fair and just. What are the practical suggestions? In my opinion, the society should first pass a resolution and disbar the members who are defaulters to park their vehicles inside the premises of the society. Car parking services is not an essential service. It is a property of the society, and society alone can govern the same. Going ahead, I can even advise that often it is noticed that the common space of the societies are misused by the members. Common spaces like staircase, lobby, etc. The society, in my view, under bylaw number 169A, recover penalty at 5 times the monthly maintenance amount, retrospective effect. This will help put a lot of pressure. The second one is leave and license agreement. A licensee should not be given priority. The priority should be given to a member. Licensee can park the vehicle with the consent of the society. Identification and stickers. According to me, there should be a sticker for every member, and color coding should be given for the second and the third car. This will help recognize parking. If any member is aggrieved by the decision of the managing committee, they have the rights to challenge the resolution in the cooperative court. The committee can even approach RERA or the consumer court for relief against builders. Conveyance, in my view, friends, is very essential, because only after the building is conveyed and the right title is impressed in the open areas belong to the society. Now, we have often noticed we spend crores and crores of rupees to purchase a flat, crores and crores of rupees for the interior designing, but we never bother about car parking. Friends, in my view, one should take the help of a professional, insist the architect for a car parking plan, satisfy yourself whether your parking which is being allotted to you comes under any reservation or not. A reservation could be in the nature of recreational grounds, etc. We have seen many societies exploiting the same and allotting car parking space on the reservation. Friends, I have shared my views related to car parking. If you have any queries, you are free to mention your query in the chat box. Thank you so much.